Alrighty, good morning. My cough in my head's almost gone. So, good God. We'll start off real quick with a review of the news trades from this morning, and then we're going to move into TAPFX. We did have one request. Someone asked about what the hell happened with the trade, so we're going to look at that. Let's see. Where the hell was I going? Forex Factory. And good morning, I forgot. Or did I? I don't know. Okay, so what do we got today? GBP. I said demo this one. We're going to look what happened on that demo. Number 2, we got Carney. It was a dud. Nothing happened. Number 3, USD. This right here barely moved. I took it -4 on Euro Live and 2.7 on USDJ positive. So I ended up losing 1.3 pips. V7 did vastly improve my loss. Let's see. I would have lost 7.8 on Euro, and I would have not made money on UJ. I would have lost 1.2. So definite improvement with the newer version. I mean, that is fucking awesome, because that's making our losses smaller. So if we can get those losses minimized, it's just going to make our profits that much bigger when they do run. And overall for the month, it's going to add up. All right, next up we got crude oil at what? 10:30 Eastern time. I'll do that one live if we're still running at that point, or I'll just come back live. Then we have FOMC. I will be definitely straddling these two live on my account. Euro USD, USDJPY. GBP USD is demo only, and US CAD is crude oil trade. I am going to try V7 live, but very small amount. I'm not going to do a full blown. I'll probably just do 0.01 on the crude oil with V7 to see how it works. I know I could do it demo, but figure fuck it. Why not do it live with 0.01? Okay, so next up, we're going to review a GBP trade from this morning. Then we're going to move into FXCM. Or, I'm sorry, we're going to move into TAPFX. So, let's get to it. Let me get the trade link. So, basically they asked what the fuck happened on this one. Remember, I said do not trade these live. It was a demo, so they did listen, which was good. This was the trade. Let's get it so I can draw. Okay, so the trade was tripped here. It dropped one more candle, and then the candle moved up and the trade closed. So why is the close all the way up here? What happened? Well, remember what I said. Do not trade GBP because of Brexit still has not been settled. So let's look what happened. We'll go to the handy dandy shitbag fun of your spreadsheet. Your spreadsheet tells you what happened. This is the new log. Starts a minute before, ends a minute after. Freaking loving it. Thank you, Mel. Maybe I shouldn't have said your name. Now everyone knows you can code. Okay, so look at the spread. 13.4, 2 seconds before. 13.4, 1 second, 13.6. And there we go. There's where the trade closed. 21 pips negative. So the trade was driven because of spread, which I said don't trade live on GBP. The trade was driven into a huge loss because of, God, I can't talk, because of a 21 pip spread. All right. I'm sorry, I'm coughing up my lungs. The shit's all coming out, but at least that's good. And just to verify that, watch, guys. If we open this, let's do Control A, Control C, and we will get into the Renko Forex scalping next. So what was his loss? It was negative 20.8 pips. Almost exactly what the spread was. So the EA did its job. It closed this thing out, which it would have closed it out here for maybe a little bit of a loss because it looks like it would have done a break even. But because of the spread, this is why when I say do not trade high spread items like outside of the US session, this is why, because you will get fuckered. Even if this thing ran down, it had to run down 20 pips before it went in profit. So this is why we don't trade this shit. If I say, I'm not trying to be mean, but I've seen 3 people now trade GBP live. They're like, oh, but this is normally a big mover. They trade it live and get their asses handed to them. Don't freaking trade it. Do the trick I showed you. Go to Google. Type in the word Brexit. I mean, it's going to be national news when this shit is settled. Go to Tools. Go to Anytime. I do the past week. And what do we see out there? Brexit. Urgent Brexit deal needed to avert banking job loss. I mean, gathering economic storm for Britain, Brexit betrayal, politics. All we see is bit negative shit. Nothing set in stone about Brexit. So what's that tell us? Stay the fuck away from GBP USD. Demo trade the shit out of it. Have fun. Make sure your settings are there, but don't touch it live. I mean, I think I've said enough on there and jumped up and down enough about it. Hopefully that clears everything up. All right, so let's get to TAPFX or the scalping. Let me make sure charts are in order. You son of a bitch. Okay, let me get my charts in order. One, two, three, four. Alright, so let's load up our template. We're already at 3 pips, so let's just leave it that way. Template. Now you notice my template was called 10p because my goal in initial entry is 10 pips. Before we get going for the day, though, we want to take a look at the charts and adjust it out and see how the markets are looking and what we're going to be able to pull today. Alright, give me a sec. Ow. Freaking mosquito on my neck. I hate South Texas weather. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get some coffee in me. Okay. I am missing something. My colors. 10p. That's weird. Okay, well, we're going to adjust anyway, so. Alright, so let's take a look. Oh, I know why. Because Euro's moving really slow, and I have it set up. Told me to look at 1,000 bars because of the news. So let's go ahead and fix that so we can get more in there. 5,000, not 500. This was the walkthrough I did on the news trading course. There we go. Euro USD is fixed. Let's fix this one. This is also why I recommend having a totally different MT4 setup for your news, because this is my play around count here. Alright, now we're looking good. We have enough candles in there that shit can function. And what are we missing? Oh, inlines. I N. Okay, so we're gonna be showing 10 pip. Show stop loss lines false and okay. And template. Save template. Build 3. Save. Yes. And template. Build. Sorry, I went straight from news to this, so. Alright, so what are we going to look at first? Let's see if we can trade. First thing we do, this is the 1 minute chart. We can look at it this way or this way. I prefer to have it this way for the most part because I can see support and resistance. Like if we look here and look to the left, what do we see? It is hitting support right now. It's hitting support. Yay. Saw that real easy. You can see it here too. So we hit it. It bounced up a little bit. Meh. It's not really in a trend. It's kind of flat. So not the best thing in the world, but we'll deal with that in a second. Let's look at USDJPY. US was dropping, but then we're flat, dropped, and it moved up. Where is it hitting again? It's hitting a resist zone right here. Let's take a look at it candle-wise. It hit it, and it bounced. So we'll see if it breaks through. Now let's move over to the Renko charts. So real quick, we looked at the 1 minute. Now starting off with the Renko, guys, we're not going to make this complicated. We're going to start off very simple every day. You need the same methodology for this to work. 1 is drink coffee before you place any trades. Alright. So the first thing I check is the spread. Spread for me is dropping below 1 pip and up to 1.2, 1.3, so it's acceptable. That used to not be part of my regular routine. I mean, I would look at it, but I look at it now because with the instability with Brexit, it can't affect. USDJPY, 1.4 to 1, so it's acceptable. Alright, back to Euro. Next thing I'm checking is how long is it taking for these candles to form. This is the 15-minute line, the 5-minute line, and the 1 minute. So looking at it, Euro's moving a bit slow for me. So we're going to make an adjustment to that. We'll come back to it. UJ. 1 minute, 5 minute, 15. It's moving along, but I may be able to speed it up a little bit. Next thing we're going to look at. Average candle size. For the last 15 candles, we've been seeing a 2.76 pip movement. For the last 30 candles, a 3 pip movement. And the last 60 candles, a 2.9 pip movement. So we're in the clear. It's above 2 pips average movement, so we're good. Over on UJ, even better. 3.2, 3.8, and 3.4. So UJ's average pip size is moving a little bit better than Euro. So far, then, I'm liking Euro, or I'm liking UJ more than Euro. Okay, so I don't want to sit here and stare at the chart all day. What's the next thing we need to do is let's pick up the pace on the chart. When I say pick up the pace, what do I mean? Well, if it's taking this long for a Renko bar to form, and now we are in a little bit, before we get into this, we are a little bit flat, so this is not ideal circumstances. What I'm looking for is like this whole move up here, I could have gotten in and out several times, and now we're flat, and blah. But candles are forming a little bit slow for my taste. So let's move back here. We hit F7 on this. Let's go a little bit extreme. Well, not as extreme. Let's drop it down to 2 pips. 2 pips. Renko. I cannot talk. We're going to drop our Renko box size down to 2 pips. Hit OK. Let it load. And now let's take a look. Now we're looking at, most candles are taking about a minute to 5 minutes, but it's moving at a better pace. We are still flat, but we've just changed the market conditions to our liking. Well, to my liking, not your liking. God, I'm sorry. My daughter's got a cough, and she gave it to me. This week's been hell. Monday, I won't even get into it. Okay, so we've now changed the market so it's a little bit more to our liking. So let's take a look. What would our average catches be on this shit then? And again, since this is flat, we should be able to see almost immediately. We had slow. Slow is the white line. Fast is the green or red line. And down here is our go time. Pretty simple system. The drawback to this system, if it's flat, it fails. We're looking for a trend. Everything here gets you entry and re-entry. Initial entry, we're going to shoot for a little bit more pips. Re-entry, we don't shoot for as many. Why? Because initial entry is a change, and we normally will see a big move like this. And then in re-entries are smaller moves up and pull back. Small, move up, pull back, move up, pull back, or move down, pull back, move down, pull back. So if we're looking at this, let's just take a line, and let's go step by step. Bam. Okay, fast. And let me zoom in. Let's set up an initial trade. This is flat. This is not something that I would be trading, but let's set up the rules so that you know exactly when you're supposed to get into trades. Okay, so here we had fast cross slow. Still not a trade. Moving along. Not a trade, not a trade, not a trade. And at the close of this candle, we would have had green. We would have gotten our, it would have started to cross the zero line. Now again, this is a flat market, so this isn't the best example, but we're setting up, well, it's not flat, it's a light trend up, but we are setting up an example of how to get in initial entry. So this is going to be our initial entry point. Our stop loss, and let's do this and see if it will work for me. Our stop loss would be here, with our entry being here. Everyone got it so far. Ugh. Now this would have been a slow trade, because we can look down here and see about how long. So it would have taken 5 minutes for the next candle, 5 minutes for the next, 3, so we're at 13 minutes, plus another 5, 18 minutes, and then 15, so we automatically are already sitting in a half hour here for this trade. The trade eventually does pan out and goes up to here. So let's count it up and see if we ever got our goal. So let's say that our goal was hit right up here. But this would have been a long, boring trade. Again, this is Euro, and like I said, it's not my best pick. So now what are we waiting for? we would be waiting for a re-entry. And from the look of it, like I said, this is ugly. I wouldn't be trading it, but let's just go by the book and follow along with it. Okay, so let's delete this. Remember, stop loss, initial entry, it did drop. Long ass trade. Looks like it took at least almost 2 hours to move up 10 pips. That's kind of ridiculous. But again, we are flat, so we're looking for a little bit more of a trend on it than that. Now, this is a good one and a bad one, because we should notice here then that we might want to stay out of this trade, because on the 1 minute it's showing us that it's flat and we're about to get our asses handed to us on a trade. So price moves down, up, and here's our candle. This is our re-entry candle. Fast is above slow, so we're good there. We're green here. Re-entry. Where is our stop loss? No, don't be a dick. Let me delete you. I deleted everything. Yeah. Okay, so there's a re-entry candle. Where does our stop loss go? Let's take a look. Now, since I'm doing these pretty much, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I'm doing them to keep a tight stop loss on it. Stop loss was here. Now, entry was here, so this candle would not have stopped us out. It's re-entry, so we're shooting for what, about 6 pips? If you got out here, I personally probably would have gotten out here, because if we look, it's about 7 pips up that it moved. I'm looking for 5 to 6 pips on re-entry. Plus the spread, so 5 pips plus the spread, that puts us at 6.4, and we got 7. So if I was watching it, and when I'm in a trade, I would have watched it, I would have got out here. If you would have overshot and gone for another 10 pips, you would get stopped out down here. So on your re-entry, be cautious. Don't shoot, I don't want to say don't shoot for the moon, but you're not looking for a lot of pips. We're looking to take in about probably 9 here, about 5 here. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pips. Price moves down, price comes up. Did this close above our fast? No. So we pass, price moves down, price moves up. This is our re-entry candle again. These are not going to work all the time, guys. So we're going to get our asses handed to us eventually. Re-entry. Where's the stop loss? Another point of advice I'd give you is if it hits here, and you know that it hits, and let's say it peaked up to about 6 or 7 pips, but you miss exit, get out with a little bit of profit. Take 2 to 3 pips. Don't be greedy. We're looking for an initial move up with no red candles. If you get a red candle, get the fuck out. That's my opinion on it. Might not be right, but it's my opinion on it. We're looking for small profits consistently over and over. Okay, so stop loss on this one. Right here with an entry here. Price moves up. We don't get a red candle. This wick did not. Let's see how close it was. 2.7 pips away. That wick did not stop us out. Spread would not have caught it. So price moves up. It moved up a total of 7.7 pips. You should have been able to get out of that with another 4 to 5 pips. Let's move along. Price moves down. Now, this one for me would have been a fucking decision maker. If we look down at the bottom, let's get into reality. We might have missed this movement. Reason being is these candles weren't even taking a minute to form. But let's say we did catch the move. This candle looks like it would have been possible to catch it. This candle took a little tiny bit over 1 minute, and these 3 candles took almost no time at all to form, and then this candle stalled out. So let's take a look at what the possibility of this candle closes. Now look, we have a wick on it. Let me move the line. We have a wick on it, but our stop loss would have been placed after this candle closed upwards. So we still would have been good. Let's take it, remove it. So stop loss is there. Do we get 5 to 6 pips. 6.7. So again, 4 to 5 pips I would have grabbed and jumped out. These are re-entry trades. Next up, and this is where we're finally going to take our loss. Remember, we don't see what's ahead here, so we don't know. Our next re-entry, we got out, it dropped, looks like it bounces off the fast. We get a re-entry. Now this one is a bitch because this is where our trailing stop is. Not our trailing stop, our stop loss. It's going to be very tight. But I would, like I said, recommend, just like the news program, keep your losses small. Alright, so here's our entry. What's it do? It drops immediately and closes us out. So we took our loss. So let's go ahead and mark them up and see. Cancel. Delete. So we had one bad. Good. Thumbs up. No, not thumbs down. Thumbs up. So we get a full 10 pips here, and we'll go conservatively. 4 pips here, 4 pips here. So that's 10, 14, 18. And what do we lose here? 2 down, 2 down. So we lose 4 pips here. So that puts us at 14 pips off this chart. So any questions on that, go ahead and type them in, and we will move on to UJ here in a minute. And then if anyone has a chart they want to look at for this, let me know, and we'll throw this on there. And we'll take a look at the chart that you're interested in. Let's move along here, though. So we are red. We had the cross. We'll talk a little bit about exhaustion on this one. So this was a big move down, and we know we were moving upwards. What I would like to say on this one, I don't know if I'd get in it or not just because of the exhaustion point, because I can see an A, B, C, D movement down, and then I'd be expecting a pullback, and then I would probably jump in for my initial entry. Again, there's little tricks that go into it, and what I mean by exhaustion is if price runs up a lot before it sets up, or if it runs down a lot. Let's say you're a jogger and you're running down this hill, you're going to be tired by the time you get here, and we expect a pullback. So, So let's say we would have taken it, we could have counted it as a loss. Just if you weren't looking at exhaustion, we'll say this was a loss. Up here, let's move it along. What are we looking at now? We are green. Fast is coming above. So what do we need? A green candle. And we can jump in on that one and we'll watch what happens. Again, before we do that though, let's look at something. Let's look at the 1 minute on that. On the 1 minute, does it look like we'd want to get in? It's riding in this range right here. This is 10 pips up, 10 pips down, so we got a 20 pip range where it's riding. There's a good chance that on a close up, that might leave us with about 7 pips. What I'm saying is, in order to get a green candle, we need a 2 pip move up because we sped this up. So we're going to take 2 pips out, so we only have about 8 pips that it can move up. Why? Because this is our resist up here. So going into this, I know that my max is, to get back in, I'm going to be looking for a 4 to 8 pip max. So do we see how we use inlines to determine what's going on? If it moves up, I'm only looking for a 4 to 8 pip move. If it moves down, not dicking with it yet. This hasn't gone red. I kind of don't want to mess with this and I want to see what it does, but oh well. Okay, so let's see. I don't want to get 2 charts up on there at once, and then I'll show you how that I trade this in a second. I'm only trading Euro USD and USDJPY. GBP, the spread is too high. It's damn way too near. It's over 2 pips a lot. US CAD is also over 2 pips for me a lot. So this one drops down to like less than 1 to 1.3, 1.4. using FXCM because they're a complete 100% legit broker. So that is why that. Let's take a look at UJ, and I'll try and bounce back. So looking at UJ on the 1 minute, what do we have? Move down, move up. Nothing pretty on structure, but we do have a significant support right where it's at now. So we didn't know we were looking at a support, and we have a resist up. We have room for it to drop 10 and move up 10. So let's take a look at it. I'm not even going to dick around. Well, we can dick around with it a bit. Initial entry was here, off that bump. So right there was a possible down. Comes up, and here's another down. I'm just going to mark these, and we'll go back and review them. And here, and this one we would have probably lost because we 2-4. We might or might not. It wouldn't have hit 4 pips up, and then we had a possible here. If I take us 2 losses in a row because it's not moving, actually this would have come out okay. And then we're up and we're down. We actually had a re-entry right there, so let's go ahead and stick to it. Now, what I'm not liking about this thing is it's flat. We did have a re-entry right here. Our stop loss is right up here on the swing. But again, I don't like this pair because it's kind of flat. We know that it's hitting a big support, so I would have wanted to see if it breaks through the support. But just following rules, and we'll point out the negative things on the trade in the meantime. But that was a re-entry right there. Okay, so Euro USD just did something. Let's take a look at it. We went red, we went red. Our fast has not come down, though. It's still above, so we could take this, but it would be very risky. We'll mark it. And again, this did not meet all rules, but let's see what happens. So we're looking for a downward move. Not a big one because we know that it is what? Flat, and it's hitting this portion here, so it might not push through. That's why I said we want to wait for the fast. The fast would have pushed us down into here. If it breaks through here, we have here to hit, so meh. Neither trade that pretty. Now let's get it so we can watch them both. US bell is in 5 minutes, so we shouldn't be in these trades. So again, you need to be aware of what's going on. And we have an oil trade coming up in an hour. Okay, so over on the Euro side, what I'm looking for is about 4 pips, because I know that it's going to smack into that. And it's at 0.5. Now on the UJ side, again, we're looking for it to drop, but neither one of these looks spectacular on the 1 minute. We're not seeing a major trend. We're just kind of coasting along. So in reality, we shouldn't be trading these. We could probably pull out a couple little pips on these, though. We will see. Remember, both of them are hitting significant support and resist zones. And if you have questions, you can type them in. Yeah, I won't actually start live trading until after the US bell today. I typically start around 9 a.m. Sorry, that was a question. Okay, so we are 1.5 in profit on UJ. Let's see if it drops down. If it drops down to about 3 or 4, we'll take it and get out. And Euro's dicking around at negative, almost negative 1 pip. Again, these are basically flat market trades. We're not looking to take a lot. And on this one, we could possibly have this being an A, B, C with a D movement up. But again, we're in a support and resist zone, so this wasn't really something like I said, not taking, but just want to get the rules down for it. Okay. And again, Euro and UJ typically move against each other, and we have two cells going. They typically they mirror each other, like move the opposite. So the likelihood of both of these dropping is kind of odd. I don't know what the market's these days. Okay, so in Euro, if it hits about 2.53, I'll jump out. Again, I'm not looking for a big move. This is a flat market trade. Oh, it stinks. If I was on Pepperstone, I'd already be at about 3.2 pips. But the spread's taking a big whack out of it. So I'd be at 2.8. Okay, so I got out with that one with about 2 pips. Again, flat market trade. We don't care. Now in UJ, let's watch and see if we can pull 4 pips out. So we don't need this one anymore. Let's blow up UJ. But let's take a look at UJ on the 1 minute again. It's still just dicking around in this support resist zone. Hasn't made up its mind. It's just flat. We have the bell in 2 minutes, which I'm guessing is going to push it up. So if this thing goes into any type of profit, my advice would be if you figure out you're in a trade right before the bell, get the hell out. This is for short-term scalping. If you're in long-term, no big deal. But we're looking for short, quick in and out moves. What can we see down here on the time? On UJ, it's slowed down. We're getting less than 1 minute candles. Starts peaking up to 5 minutes. We get above 5 minutes. Now we're looking at a 5 minute. We're already at 5 minutes plus on the current candle. We're at negative about 2.4 pips. Again, US bell in 1 minute, so this is not a trade we should have gotten into, and it is a flat market. Well, it's not super flat, but it's flat. It's not something we want to be trading. This system works great as long as you're trending. It's as simple as that. If you can trade it on a trend, you're fine. Boring though. Let's get our charts in order again so I can pop through them. See, it really hasn't done anything. Moved up a little, moved down a little. We're not getting much movement. Not yet, at least. And it's 8:30. US bell just rang. So it's the official open. We were in pre-trading up to this point. But just boring shit. And like I said, if this goes into any type of profit, we'll just hop out because it's a flat market trade and I don't expect it to go anywhere. Plus, we have the US bell. I don't know which way it's going to push, so I want to get out. I would have preferred to get out before, but I'm going to close it for now. For FOCM, let's just saw that. Early. I'm probably going to do 10 pips on FXCM to see how it handles it. And on my live, I don't even know. I'm going to have to take a look at my spreadsheet. It's just, I think there's going to be more news than usual involved with it just because of all the bullshit going on with Europe. Are you in live, Robin? Or am I talking to myself? Probably talking to myself. I do it all the time anyway, so it's okay. After this trade, I'm going to take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll look at some random charts and see, so that we can have a couple more examples of rules. See if we can find something that's trending. almost had profit to get out. So let's see. Droppy. There we go. So I'm out. No loss today on that one. Whoop-de-doo. But again, this was not optimal trading conditions. Flat market. And pretty flat. We can see it's flat. We are getting up 10 pip movements, so what that means to me, if I can see a little bit of a trend on it, I can get in and out and take some small pips over and over again. But, nah. Right now, not. Do we have any questions? Because I'm going to take a little pee-pee break, and then I'll be back. We'll take a look at some random charts. See if we can actually find something that looks nice, so we can go over the rules again, make sure everyone understands. And see what we're seeing? This candle, 5 minutes long. It's pushing through 5 minutes just to form. So we know the market's running a little bit slow, and this is when I went aggressive. We're still seeing everything starting to pop over 1 minute, and we're hitting 5 minute. So the market for me is a little bit slow. Candle size is good, but the market's slow. What that means is if I'm patient, I should be able to pull 3 to 4 pips because the average candle size is wiggling around that much. And on this one, look, we're at 1 minute, and then we're starting to push into 5 minutes. So it's slow. What can we do with UJ then? So let's adjust it to make it faster. Let's drop down that Renko box to 2. And if you look, all our candles now are hitting, well, we're still getting up into the 5 minutes, so UJ is slow also. We'll give time for the US to kick in, see if that speeds things up. Candle size, pip size is good, candle size is 2, candle time is slow. So again, like I said, that's why on those 2 trades I cut them both short and got out. I mean, we're on a flat market. It is moving relatively slow. I don't want to fall asleep doing a recording, and I don't want y'all to get bored watching it. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick break, 5 minutes at most, and we'll be back. We'll play with some random charts, and we'll see if we can find one that's actually trending. Look at initial entry and re-entry again. Make sure everyone understands how to do it. Again, the enemy of this system is a ranging market. If it's a flat market. If it's ranging, I would be trading binary options on it because then you could pull out some quick ones on that. But for the most part, I would just stick to this. It's the holidays too, guys. Remember, I'm mainly sticking to the news trading right now. I am pulling some little scalps when I see trend, but I haven't really seen the trend. It's holiday trading. Be patient. Work with what the market gives you. Alright, so I'll be right back. Less than 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. So as of yet, I see 0 questions, so I'm hoping that means everyone understood. We'll take a look at a few charts then. Let's go ahead and close this, since I'm going to be chart hopping. And we'll need to close this. Let's open up our navigator, and let's start just dragging and dropping some shit on. Kind of flat. We missed a big trend on GBP, but again, I'm not trading GBP, and we're moved into a range. AUD USD. Support or resist zone. USD CAD. It's kind of in a range, but looking to see if we see anything. Euro CHF. It's in about a 10 pip range. NZD USD. Look at the wick on that thing. And small movements. Euro GBP. Now, if you have a broker with very low spreads, this isn't a nice way to look at things. You can just drag through and decide a chart that you're going to watch. Let's zoom out a little bit so I can see a bigger picture. Nothing pretty there. This is what? GBPJPY. So let's go ahead and load it up offline and take a look at it. Doesn't look as spectacular. We are below 1 minute, almost on all the candles. We did turn green here, and the fast is coming. So we could, just for the hell of it, this would be considered for me an initial. It had a move up, ABC, went overextended, it went overbought, and it dropped. So a movement up is okay. What do we need to do? Look to the left, and what do we have? Big support zone there. These resists, or a resist zone now, has formed, and price did bounce off that and move down. So let's see if it comes up. If it does, we have a possibility of jumping in there. Does everyone kind of get the idea what I just did there? Having technical difficulties. Give me a minute. There we go. Ow. I rolled over my toe. We can see it just popped more than 1 minute on this candle. And what are we at? I believe 2 pip candles, so we could drop down to 1 pip, but that cuts into, and then it gets to the point where our movement's so small that it's kind of ridiculous on what you take in for profit. Now, if we look at the spread, look at this, 2.7. So if I take anything, I need it to be able to run 3 pips. So from the top of here to here is 6.1, and up to here it's 9.8. So I'd probably be looking at a 3 to 5 pip trade in this. Would see if it hits here, and then if I wanted to play it very conservative, I could hop out. If it popped through that real nice and fast, then we'd get out here. And let's draw that in. But we can see it is a possibility that it's moving down. We don't know. We're not going to guess. We just go with what it gives us. So that was about a 3-minute candle, 3.2. So 3 minutes and, I don't know, 3.2, 3 minutes, 10 seconds, something like that. So this could be a move up with a pullback and then a move up. We don't know yet. Don't stress on it. Just let the system work for you. Again, if you have questions, guys, hit it up. Kind of boring talking to myself. I don't care what the question's about. So we had a close. We're green, green. Sorry, I was typing. I didn't notice that. Again, what are we hitting though? Is this whole support zone. So what I'm looking for is one candle up. If we wanted to be more aggressive, we could jump in right now. Our stop loss is right there. We could pull that in a little bit if we wanted to. But remember, if it busts through here, we have a resist over here. Our big goal is right up here. But because of a 3 pip spread, we're already in the hole. That's what I'm saying. If you're doing these small scalps, the smaller spread you can get, the better. So we almost hit our target, and we still haven't even been in profit. We're still, look, we got in on this candle when it was down here. We still haven't gotten in profit because of the spread. This is why I said you need to check the spread. I locked my cat in the bathroom because I caught him with 2 paws in the litter box, his ass hanging out, shitting on the floor. So I locked him in the bathroom for a little bit. I was pissed. So what we could see is a kind of an A, B, C movement up. It's not pretty, but man, again, this is holiday trading, guys. Don't expect the best. Right now, I would focus on, what do you want to call it? Not basics, functionality, following the rules more than anything. It's a good time to get into it and just practice the rules instead of focusing on getting those good trades. Stay on demo and go for the, I guess say the fundamentals of the course, and get your trades in and follow the fundamentals. Get in those trades, and I mean, honestly, you might end up making a few pips, but it's a good time to get in the fundamentals. Because holiday trading does suck. Like, I haven't even touched a binary chart this month. I'm not going to either. So far, I've done very good and resisted it. So we got 0.1 pip in profit. It is hitting that resist zone. Let's see if it can push up a little bit, and I'll just jump out. Like I said, I'm not looking for anything big. You can't be greedy with this. And there we are. I did jump out. It was only like 1.4 pips profit. But that's what I mean. Don't be greedy. These are flat market holiday trades. If you can do this over and over again, though, you can get 10 pips in a day easy. In about 2 hours. By flipping through charts and looking for ones with a good spread. This one had a shit spread. I would never normally trade this normal. And how do I determine that? If we go here, if you don't see spread, just right click and put a check in for spread. And I can see my spread. Like USDCHF is 1.4. GBPUSD is holding in around 1.9 to 2. But USDJPY is 1.2. Euros 1.2. And then it starts moving up as we go down. So we have, like for me, I would do this. Euro NZD. Well, first the one I see, GBP NZD, is popping. It's always above 3, so we could do hide. I don't want to see it. Now GBP CAD actually doesn't look bad. NZD JPY, I typically don't trade NZD pairs. Why? Is because they move very quick. And yes, it looks good on paper, but I actually don't land any trades. So let's hide. GBP CHF is a no-y. The spread's too high for me. Hide. GBPJPY, which we're on right now, I can't hide it, but we can see the spread's high. It's almost 3 pips. Euro JPY is looking decent. It's staying below 2. Euro CHF is above 2 consistently, so we could hide. So now what we see is I'm building I'm building up a basket of shit I can trade from, basically, with a decent spread. And if we look, this one still hasn't moved up. There it moved up, broke through, and this would have been our goal, but again, I got out of it. Just meh. I'm not being greedy. I don't care. I took what I got, even if it did move up. It's no big deal. I know that it was a shit spread, and I really shouldn't have been trading the pair anyway. So let's take a look at, what's another one? Euro AUD. I keep seeing it popping up to into the mid 2s. We'll hide. Euro CAD. Let's take a look at that. So let's close this. Let's take a look at Euro CAD. Had to move up. Now if we look at it, it's about to, let's see if we can get this open real quick. File, open offline, EUR CAD, M79, and template 10p. So what are we looking at is it's hitting a resist. We did get green. We're less than a minute on most candles. This is a slower moving pair, so if we get into this trade, what do we expect? Expect to be staring at this bitch for a while. Pip size is great though. It's 3.5 pips average, but the speed is shit. So yes, it looks okay, but if we get in this, we're going to be expecting to wait it out. We're going to have to watch this bitch forever. Again, it's Euro. Euro, you expect a slower movement on. The USD pairs I prefer because they seem to move quite a bit faster. So if you can nail some USD pairs, that's good, like USD CAD, USDJPY, USD CHF. Those should typically move faster. Let me mute for 1 second and go let the damn cat out. He sounds really pissed. Alright, I let the beast out. Let's see if he behaves. Okay, so like I said, if we're looking at the average pip movement, it's good. If we're looking at the amount of time it's taking to form candles, it's a little bit slow. Mostly 1 minute candles with some 5 minute peaks, but it did hit a resist zone and it bounced. So what we could wait for is it to push through that. Does anyone have a pair they want to look at? Oh, wait, let me check. Sorry, I was answering a question about FXCM. Alright, so no questions, nothing. Let's check something real quick. I don't really want to draw this out till... Remember in, 30 minutes we got a crude oil news event. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Eastern time, FOMC. I'll be doing a 10 pip straddle on that, 3 pip Renko bars. Hopefully pull in some nice pips if it moves. If it's a dud, oh well. The oil trade I'll be doing on USD CAD, so unless you have like a $10,000 account, you can't really trade oil, and it's not even offered on FXCM, so USD CAD is your best bet to get some movement out of it. Y'all are a quiet bunch of fuckers today. What are the entry criterias? You want me to go over it again, Jorma? Sorry, I just saw the message. Let's take a look at a decent spread then. Let's get rid of this one because it's not really doing too much. And let's go back. Let's try USDCHF. It's down there. It's looking kind of flat. GBP. Let's use GBP because I think we'll be able to, at least on paper, show you some initial entries. So file, open offline, GBP, USDJPY, GBP, USD, M79, open, template, and OK. Okay, so we are running at, what, 2 pip Renko bars? How does that put us for time? Most candles are under 1 minute. We're seeing some spikes up into 5, so I'd say this is a medium mover on speed. Candle size, 2.8, 2.9, blah. Good there. We will... I'll just show you. We'll go with this chart from initial entry to re-entries, and then we will talk. Did you see how I sped this chart up? I am forcing the charts to give me the results I want. What I mean by that is default settings, I believe, are 3 pip Renko bars. So let's load up 3 pip, and if we look now, the charts are way too slow for my liking. I'm seeing a bunch of candles over 5 minutes. Remember, this first line's 1 minute, the second's 5 minutes. So the majority of candles I'm seeing are over 1 minute and hitting 5 minutes. So for me, that's too slow. I don't want to spend fucking 4 hours staring at a chart. So let's speed things up more to my liking. I'll drop it to 2, and let's take a look. So what are we doing? We're forcing the market to, I guess, kind of give us what we want. I want a fast-paced chart that I can get in and out of on trades. Now most of our candles are below 1 minute with some spikes up to 5 at the max. Now I could even go stupider, but then that cuts into our take profit. I could do, like, I don't know, 15? And do OK. Now we're looking at everything is below. But I don't typically go below 2. So let's go back. If I can't get it with a 2 pip Renko box, then I don't want it. I'll show you the also here before I forget though. You can also use Renko to force a very fast-paced training. So watch, if I do this and I go to, oops, wrong chart. You could go through this and just for practice. Let's say I put this at 1. That's 1 pipette. It has to be a little bigger, I think. Man, you bastard. Okay, so template. Let's do build 2. Oops. Kitty, you misbehave. You go back. He's pooping in the litter box. I guess he did learn his lesson. Give me a sec. Template build 3. Okay, so this is the 3. Let's just drop to 2, to 1, and I'll show you. If you drop to like a 1 pip Renko box, this thing really moves. So you can look at it, everything is below 1 minute. We're not even hitting 5-minute candles. So you can force a high-pace training environment for yourself. So use the Renko boxes to your advantage. But let's go to the normal one, and we'll take a look at 20 pipettes, which is 2. Just times it by 10. And now let's look at the chart. Let's turn off the auto scroll. Let's go back to when this turned green, and we'll take a look at initial entry and then re-entry. So here's where it turns green on us. About there. I'm not going to be too picky. So it turns green here, so that's when we're going to be waiting for initial entry. So what are we waiting for is the fast across. And we go boop, boop, boop. Crosses there, so here's our entry. And what's it move up? It moves up 17 pips, so clearly we got out at 10 pips and we would have been fine. Now we're waiting. So this is an initial entry. and we'll give it a thumbs up because it never dropped back down to our stop loss at all. I would have used a tight stop loss right here. Let me zoom in a little. And let's take a look at how this would have ran. Candle would have closed. We would have got a wick down, but as the candle closed, then it just proceeded up. So our stop loss would have been... Remember, we're trying to keep tight stop losses, because if we do take a loss, we just want it to be small, just like the news program. Tight stop losses. Because percentage-wise, as long as you're trading this on a trend, the enemy is flat. As long as you're trading this on a trend, you're going to win more than you lose. So if our winners are bigger than our losers, then that even improves our profitability more. So we're moving along. Yippee-ki-yay. Here's our next re-entry candle, our first re-entry candle. Remember, re-entry now, we are going for what? 3 to 6 pips max. Re-entry candle, stop loss is all the way down here, which is 2, 4, well actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that is a pretty steep stop loss for me. That would be our stop loss. Personally, I would probably draw it up to here. To about there. I would cut it in half. Why? Just because I want it to be a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Re-entry, so 2, 4, 6. No matter what we were shooting here for 3 to 6 pips, we did get it. So I'll just put a thumbs up in this general area because as long as you got out at some point, you weren't greedy and trying to go for another 10 pips, you would be fine. So price bounces, we're looking for it to come below. It comes up here. So here's a re-entry we don't win on. And I would have taken that as a re-entry. Candles are still moving along nicely. Stop loss would have been down here. So stop loss is right here. Let me draw this out so we can see it does get... And we lose here. Fuck. So right there, we get stopped out. Price moves down. Everything's still looking good. Candle speed did slow down a little bit. We got a 5-minute candle, but we moved down to a 1 minute, 1 minute. Bam. And re-entry again. Here. What are we going for? 3 to 6 pips, and it was okay. So far we've taken in a 10 pip, let's say a 4 pip, lost, what would we have lost? So down to 4, we would have lost about 6 pips there. So we're at 10, 14, minus 6, 8 pips profit, add it up again, 8, 9, 10, let's say we go back to 12 pips profit there. And we have another re-entry. It was fine. We'll just say 4 pips because that's about what I try and take. It went up 6, so 4 is easily doable. Out, re-entry. Again. Bam. Now this one probably would have held off on because it didn't close below the candle, so we don't have a re-entry here. It didn't close below, so we didn't have a re-entry. So price moves down, came up. Now we're starting to see where we're going to take another loss. Price moves up here and drops down. Again, stop loss would initially be, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. We'd bring it up to here. It really depends. We could bring it up to here or here. It's up to you on where you'd want to do it. I probably would have put it right in the middle, like this. Price moved up. Oh, we got 2 pips. We never would have gotten out of this trade. We take a loss. As soon as we take a loss, what do? We jump to our GBP, USD, 1 minute. We want to take a look. What is that fucker doing? If we see that it's flat, we stay out and wait. But we can go back in. And this is just strictly following the system, not following price action. Once you throw price action in and look for the trend, everything works. I mean, it's as simple as that. So price comes out. Here we go. We get a re-entry. I'm not even looking at the fact that the 1 minute might have told me that this was flat. I need to check. Anytime we have a loss, go check and see what's going on the 1 minute. So here's a re-entry. Completely doable. This was a 1 minute candle, full 1 minute, so we had time to watch it. We get in, it drops, but where's our stop loss? Again, let's cut it in half. Even if I put it low or cut it in half, it would be like there. We wouldn't have hit. So we got in, it dropped, bam, bam. So it moves up 2, 4. Now this one here, because we got in here, it moves up 5.5. Remember, my goal is about 4 pips. I would have been able to get out. I would have been fine there. So we could say that one's okay, even if it wasn't and you missed it. So let's say we missed it, it dropped back down. It still didn't hit our stop loss, and it moves up. So I'm not even going to consider. Let's just consider this bitch ran for a while. And it was out. Moving on. We get in. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. So here's a re-entry. There's our re-entry. Our stop loss would be here. It's 2, 4, 6. 6 is fine for me. Even if we didn't, we would still, let's see if this, let's do a 5. Because like I said, I want to cut it in half. Draw. So let's just do it here. Let's see if I can draw it out. Okay, so we got entry here. At any point, do we see 4 to 6 pips? We see 7 pips. So this one would have been an okay one if you got out with your 4 pips. And we had re-entry again here. Do we get our 4 pips? It's already hit 8 pips, so we would have been out of that trade. So now we're waiting for price to come back down below the fast and move back up. We did get a dip into the red here. Look at this section. We get a dip into the red, but did we ever get a qualified trade? No, it never reversed enough for us to get into a sell. Does that clear up everything for the rules for entry? Remember, flat market is your enemy on this. Basically, I came out with this system to complement trading axis, because if it's a flat market, you could trade bins. If it's not a flat market and it was trending, this is what you were supposed to switch to. And the third part, think of it here. Let's do the circle of life. Circle of trading. This is the way I view the world, which is sad. Let's do Google slide. Let's see if I can do it this way. I don't want to add a title, so go away. Let's let this load, and we will delete, insert a shape. I want a circle. Here's the way I view trading, and this is how the training program has, I guess you could say, progressed. Make it look kind of like Mickey Mouse. Hell yeah. Okay, so yeah, the India in the bottom, though, is a test one. Yours isn't going to show red or green. It's just going to be above 0, below 0. Let's make it understandable range. Yeah, I'm an idiot. This is taking longer than I thought. Ah, why'd I get both of them? Wow, I am just screwing this up. I think you know what I'm doing. This is the way I look at it. There's the three possibilities of what's going on in the market. If it's a range, and we also have so the three things I look at on the market is if it's ranging in a nice range, I'll trade binary. If it's trending, I pop to TAPFX. Now, for me, most of the time, I like TAPFX because I can control the pace with it, and I don't have to sit around and wait for candles. So I can almost always find a trending chart and pull out some pips. Now, in between these two, when news hits, load up the news AA and trade the news. It just keeps you busy, gives you something to do almost every single day, and lets you make money. That's, I mean, the bottom line on how I do it. If the only time I don't trade is flat, holiday, holiday, ooh wee. Or world or world economic event. Those are the three times I don't trade. If it's flat, if it's a holiday, or a world economic event. The U.S. election, Brexit, Swiss crash, fuck, you name it. Anything that's going to affect U.S. shutdown, that's bad. The one thing I will say that on any of these, though, the one thing that I still fall to no matter what is I will trade news. If there's a high impact news event, I always fall over to that. It's just pretty much as simple as that. These two are dependent on this. The news EA is not dependent on any of that shit. Right now we're in holiday trading, so bins are out. I am trading a little bit of these, but I'm being very conservative. I'm only looking for 2 to 6 pips because it's the holidays. But news EA doesn't get affected by shit. It's just balls to the wall with the news. Do what you have to do, trade them and straddle them, keep your spreadsheet up to date, and go for it. For your question, though, yeah, yours isn't going to be green and red. I'm testing this one. But with Renko, it's still popping off multiple alerts. It's kind of jacked up. We can see it's red down here. We are green and coming above. Just went green. If we wanted to, we could do a buy, but let's look to the left. What do we see? So this is a little bit of a risky area because it has to poke through, but let's say, fuck it, I forgot to look left. Entry in. What am I going to do? Now, again, this is not one I would take because I'd want it to bust up a little bit through here because then it does have a little bit of room to run. And let's move up to about halfway. Let's get a nice top tight. I can't talk. A nice tight stop loss following it. Again, look at the 1 minute. It's not anywhere where I'd like it to be. It's kind of flat. I would not be trading this, but just since we have you watching and you're asking questions, technically speaking, that was a re-entry. Price action speaking, it was shit. If that makes sense. But technically speaking, all qualifications were met. Fast was above slow. We did get across above the 0 line. We did have a big resistance right here, which is our number one thing. Look left. Saw that. Didn't jump in because we know it has to push through. Doesn't look like it's gonna. We had a little fluke here where it did. And here. And the next thing we look at, let's look at the 1 minute. We can see it's hitting that resist here too. The same resist is over. The Renko shows us it. 1 minute shows us it. So this would have been a wait for it to push through and then get in because it did have a little bit of room after that to run. If we got one more green up, we have about 6.5 pips, and I'm looking for 4. So we had room for it to run. Instead, it's going to crash and burn. go, close it out. Now remember, this should not have been a trade. I just opened it, I guess, to show it's going to fail. Now the next thing we see is when green and then red, so this is a warning sign for us too. We have all kinds of warning signs here. We shouldn't be touching this. Okay, we got 14 minutes till news, guys, so I'm going to have to stop this, set up for news. It's going to be a relatively simple setup. This is FXCM. I'm going to run it on demo. This is a US CAD trade. It is oil. I'm not expecting too much out of it, so the Pepperstone guys make out with these pretty decent, but not us. Well, not US with FXCM. Okay, so if you're in the news group, here you can watch file, new chart. What are we doing? US CAD, because it's an oil trade. First thing, you 1 minute it, right click, template it, build 3, or build news, I'm sorry. Wait for it to load. It tells you US CAD M79. Let's open that puppy up. Open offline. US CAD M79. F7. Oops, I'm sorry. Template it. Renko news it. Do I have it loaded up? No, I have the wrong one on there. Expert. I already have this set up on my live, so there's no stress. Again, if you're in the news group, guys, set your trades up ahead of time. I'm doing this on demo and I'm trying to teach, but my live trade's been set up since last night. So all I do is review it, close the chart, review it, close the chart, fill in my spreadsheet as I go. Okay. There we go. Now this is a 9:30, so let's do a load. Do we have a 9:30 out here? No, we have a 9, so let's do that. It's 12, 2001, Today is what, the 14th? 9:30 news. And everything else looks good. You notice I do go through just for the hell of it. Now, I changed the name of the trade to oil in my log so I can spot it real easy. It's going to be US CAD oil trade. And I'm set up. Let's take this over here. US CAD. F7. We're already set up. US CAD. Let's edit it. Sorry, and this will be a 10:30. And okay. Now, since I'm also recording spread on forex.com, that's what I set up over here, because I'm recording the spread on forex.com because I'm looking at in January, maybe popping onto that. Next, I want to record this. I showed y'all how to do this. It's not with Bandicam, it's with shit, I don't remember, but look through the videos. I show how to record the trades. It does help out quite a bit. Spread wise, we're at 1.7 to 2. It's US CAD, so it is going to go ape shit. That's the problem with these trades, is that the spread goes ape shit on FXCM with US CAD, and the spread across the board is higher than Pepperstone. So we got 11 minutes till news. I mean, you can see that it doesn't take a lot of time to set these things up. Alright, so, I don't know, we got what do we have? We have 10 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break, go to the bathroom. If you have questions, go ahead and hit them up, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. And what do we got? Still got 5 minutes. Damn, that didn't take too long. Guess I should pee slower. Sorry, burped. So, here, I'll shrink it down so you can see what happens 60 seconds out. What the hell is this? Something left over. Boring, I know. And we got 4.5 minutes. Well, 3.5 until we at least see something happen. Now remember the goal here, and why I'm using a 6-pip straddle, 3-pip Renko boxes. Ooh, shit. Am I running 3-pip? Let's double check. Yes, I am. See, I even screw up. We double check everything. Since I was screwing around. For Pepperstone, by default, it's like a 2-pip Renko box. Pepperstone does do better on these oil trades, yeah. We got, good lord, time is just dragging. We got 26, so 27, 2 minutes till we see something. So I guess to explain this, what happens is 1 minute out, our first pending orders will appear. 4 seconds out, the pending orders will be pulled in to 6 pips above and below price. They will then follow price, move up and down every pipette. Modify gap is 1. That means every pipette we will get an adjustment. When the time hits 9:30, the pending orders freeze in place, and we let price run its thing. Whether we make a profit or not on these oil trades, like I said, for FXCM, it is a toss-up because of the high spread that we get on US CAD. I will be recording so that I can go back and do it frame by frame and see what happened, and I'll also check the spreadsheets on both of these so that y'all can see the difference. Are you still in live chat, Jorma? I'll answer your question there. We want the EA to be set up. I'll show you after. Max spread and max slippage are ignored now. With the V7 version, we did away with spread affecting the trades. We used to be able to get a spread spike, like that 21 pip spread spike we saw in US CAD. That would stop us out. It did stop out the trade, but that was because the candle closed in the opposite direction. We would have actually taken a bigger loss if we would have been using V6. If that person who traded GBP, he traded it. I told him it's fine to trade on demo, but because of Brexit, the spread on GBP is out of control right now. He did trade it, and he got a 21 pip spread spike on the close candle, so he had a 20 pip loss. But that's fine. He was on demo, and I said, make sure and trade it. I want y'all to see what happens when you trade something stupid. So we got 30 seconds, and we'll see the first stage 1 kick in. And what? 47, 48, 10 seconds. So boring. Double checking. Look, it's 12:14, 9:28, 12:14, 9:30. That's what news is. We are running our time sync right here. Every 15 minutes, it syncs time. That keeps us nice and happy. There's there's stage 1. That's actually 200 pips out. So let's get that off there so we can see. In about 40 seconds, stage 2 will kick in. Again, our pending orders will follow price every pipette. When news hits at 9:30, Pending orders freeze in place, and we let price run its thing. Spread right now is 1.2. That's actually kind of low. What I watch is if spread starts going wacko, that sometimes indicates we got a big mover coming. Not always. Sometimes you'll get a dud and we'll still see an 18 pip spread. Again, the drawbacks is FXCM spread on US CAD does get exceptionally high. This purple line is no longer relevant, but it does let me compare it to a V6 trade to see if what a V6 would have done. And so far, V7's outperforming V6. There's our 4 seconds. We have pending orders out. We got to sell, but it froze. So we need at least a candle down, one more candle down, and if we get one more down, we'll be locked into a profit, but most likely this is going to probably be almost a nothing trade. Again, on a different broker, we might get different results. Like the Pepperstone guys probably are able to pull out a little bit, and the trade closed. So let's see results. It's probably going to be a tiny little loss. So it was, what was it? Negative 0.3 pips. That's what I mean. That is the difference between Pepperstone and FXCM. I can every now and then pull a profit out of these, but this is why I don't trade them on live. Let's take and see something else. Now, here is why I'm considering going to forex.com. And it's looking like I'm going to be on forex.com. Exact same trade. 2.6 pips profit. So on live, let me see what I got. On live, I had a dud. On live, I didn't even do it. Yay. On live, I'm set up for FOMC. But we can see the difference here. Look. So we can take a look at it. This is why most likely in January I am switching. Trade was opened. We got this movement down. Now this is where it closed, but due to spread, so it looks like we had a 2.7 pip spread. So let's take a look at spread, and what did spread do to this trade? MQL4 and files, and we're going to be looking for US CAD 1214. There's the CVS file. We're going to copy it. Right click and paste it. Now let's get our FXCM trade. File, open off, not open offline, file, open data folder, MQL4, files, and we're looking for US CAD oil. Remember I named it oil, 1214. Let's open that puppy up. And Robin made 7. Jesus Christ, you asshole. Oh, max spread. I thought that was his pips. Minimize. Let's open up number 2. And, okay, so on the left will be FXCM. On the right, I'm sorry, on the left is forex.com. On the right is FXCM. Hope you were demo on that, dude. Alright, so new log file. New log file records a minute before and a minute after. Let's take a look. Remember, this is on the right FXCM, on the left forex.com. And let's go 10 seconds out, and I'll mark it 10 seconds out. And let's get the same thing, 10 seconds out. And we'll dig into it. We didn't have a tick 10 seconds out, so let's go 11. So spread was about the same, 2.0, 1.9. Now let's get to the trade. 5.4 right before it. Now this is what I think is weird, is we're seeing negative over here. So we had a negative spread, but in all reality we had a 7. 2.3. And this thing lasted quite a few seconds. 3.8. Actually, for the first time, FXCM beat on spread. So what was our max? Let's go through and find it. We're only looking up to about 5 seconds because that's about all it took. So 3.8 was our max spread. Over here, 3.1. Oh, we might not have beat it. 3.7. 3.6, 3.7, and then it goes down. So, I guess that Forex.com did beat FXCM again. Oh well, I was all excited there for a second. 3.8 max spread on that trade. Again, Forex.com outperforms. So let's close it. I'll fill out my spreadsheet in a bit. And let's answer questions. I did not trade it live. Demo. FXCM was what? Negative 0.3. Forex.com. Positive 2.6. Max spread FXCM 3.8. Forex.com 3.7. Mad spread. I can't even type. Max. And that pretty much sums it up, guys. Let's talk about the first trades, though. The first trades are where there was no potential there. I would like to see... Let's see what Robin put. I'm looking at Robin's straddle size. He was on Pepperstone, 6 pips. Check max spread. Let's see now. So file. Okay, guys. So that pretty much sums it up for today. I'm gonna go off, and then I'm gonna check my max spreads for the other one, fill out my spreadsheet, and take a look at what's going on. I think Robin's flipped to a different type of broker. He's gonna look at the Razor one because he was getting better performance out of that. But that's about it, guys. Tomorrow, real quick, let's take a look, and then we'll wrap this up. So, we have FOMC, which I'll pop up for that one, definitely. Tonight, AUD unemployment. Again, you can demo that. Do not trade it live. This is a live trade. And then unemployment change. This is a demo trade. Do not trade it live. Again, it is outside of the US session and the London session, and it would be an AUD USD pair. But you can demo that if you want. The 15th, which is tomorrow, USD CHF. I would say go ahead and demo that one. GBP demo. GBP demo. Then we got CAD in the morning. We'll be trading that with some USD. This is our one that we'll be watching. This will probably be, if it moves, where we get our movement. And then at the end of the day, 11:15 CAD is a speech. I'll freaking straddle it, but it's not going to move, I doubt. And for Friday, we only have building permits, and that's it. Tomorrow will be a little bit busy. You do have a lot of demo ones you can trade, but don't dig around with anything else. That sums it up for the day, and y'all have a good one. If you have questions, hit me up. See ya laters for FOMC.